Additional 450 American troops will deploy to Iraq to help in the fight against ISIL. It's been a year since ISIL captured Mosul, and the fall of Iraq's second largest city was just the beginning. The question now, is this latest U.S. effort a temporary fix or an effective long-term measure? CCTV Sean Callebs is here with more. And a year ago, as you'll recall, Sean was there at the Mosul Dam as the Iraqi Kurdish forces were actually retaking that site.
It was an exciting time, but boy, how things have changed. It has been a tough year for Iraqi troops trying to stop the spread of ISIL. Now, in an effort to offset the embarrassing setbacks Iraq has suffered at the hands of ISIL, President Obama earlier today authorized the deployment of 450 additional U.S. troops to train, advise, and assist Iraqi forces.
The Obama administration says sending the additional 450 troops to Iraq does not signal a change in policy. But military analysts say it is an intensification of the current strategy and does represent a tactical and technical adjustment. The highest-ranking U.S. Congressman, John Boehner, says the president needs to, quote, get serious about the crisis in Iraq.
An authorization of the use of military force should be designed around the strategy that the administration believes is necessary in order to win. We don't have a strategy, and you can't have an authorization of the use of military force if you know what the strategy is.
Earlier in the week, it was Obama himself who said his administration lacks a complete strategy for helping Iraq win back territory from the Islamic State. It's been a year since ISIL forces stormed into Iraq from neighboring Syria and seized Mosul, the country's second largest city. Pushing back the Iraqi troops, the U.S. spent $25 billion training and arming since 2003.
I don't think we have the option of just accepting defeat.
Michael O'Hanlon from the Brookings Institution says the stakes in the region are just too high.
As difficult as the mission is, how do we make it succeed? Because we have to make it succeed. And not just for the good of Iraqis, for the good of Americans, for the good of Chinese, for the good of anybody depending on Middle Eastern stability and oil.
But after the U.S.-led bombing campaign that helped Iraqi Kurdish Peshmerga forces retake the Mosul Dam 10 months ago, U.S. generals predicted that the important city of Mosul could possibly be retaken in the spring of this year. The crushing defeat of weak Iraqi troops in Ramadi last month changed all of that and led U.S. Defense Secretary Ashton Carter to publicly criticize Iraqi troops after the rout.
What apparently happened was that the Iraqi forces just showed no will to fight.
Now Iraqi troops and ISIL forces are locked in a bitter stalemate. And while the fight to free Ramadi goes on, U.S. generals now say it will be 2016 at the earliest before troops are ready to mount an offensive to win back Mosul.
Iraqi Prime Minister Haider al-Abadi asked Washington to send those extra troops. As the standoff drags on, it is important to point out that a full one-third of Iraq remains under control of the Islamic State. Many analysts believe al-Abadi has tried to mend sectarian fences in the region. And they are concerned that as Iraqis grow weary of ISIL's heavy hand, Iraqis could vote the prime minister out of office. And depending on Iraq's new leader, it could make a bad situation even worse. Mike?
Sean, the numbers don't sound that dramatic, 450. Any idea how these people can actually make much of a difference?
Well, I think that one thing people are taking solace from is that Chairman of Joint Chiefs of Staff is traveling today. And in Jerusalem, he told reporters that Obama has come to him and said, look, let's find a way to better use the troops that we're sending there, to better train Iraqis, to better arm them and get them in better position. So hopefully politicians will listen to the military.
All right, Sean Callebs, thanks so much.